Hey there, foodies and weed enthusiasts. I'm Darren, a chef turned passionate food educator. I believe the best recipe includes a dash of laughter and a sprinkle of creativity. Join me in the kitchen for a laid-back approach to satisfying those late-night munchies. Welcome to Late Night Stoner's Delight, where we'll cook, laugh, and maybe even get lit. Hey all, thanks for joining us today. Today we're going to make banh mi. Dude, banh mi, of course, most of you know, is a traditional Vietnamese sandwich. Our version today isn't overly traditional, but it checks all the boxes with the flavors. Very first thing that we're going to do is make some quick pickled red onion. To get started, we're going to heat up our brine of water and vinegar. I'm using a little bit of just regular distilled vinegar, and I'm also going to use some apple cider vinegar. Then I'll add a little bit of kosher salt and some black pepper. I also like to add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of spice to this. Just a splash of maple syrup. And a few dried chilies will get the heat into that. We're going to get this onto the stove and bring it to a simmer. Now for this, you're going to want a glass mason jar. A mandolin is really helpful to slice your onions nice and thin. If you don't have a mandolin and just want to slice your onions with a knife, just allow your onions a little bit longer to marinate. So we'll get the onions into our mason jar. These, of course, are not just good on a banh mi. They're great on a taco or any type of sandwich for that matter. I love them to garnish like a rice bowl or a poke bowl. There's just so many uses for a pickled onion. So considering how easy they are, we should all have pickled red onions in our refrigerator. All right, so those are in there. We're going to put our hot brine over top, and it takes about 30 minutes before they're ready to eat. All right, and using a spoon, you just want to push the onions down so everything's submersed. We'll put a lid on that. There we go. Pickled red onion. So now I'm going to get ready some nice fresh garnishes for our sandwich. To start with, we're going to slice up some serrano chilies. Traditionally, it would be a jalapeno. We don't have jalapeno, we have serrano. And you're going to want a little bit of fresh cilantro. You don't have to chop it, but you do need to wash it. And we're just going to give it a tear right in half. I like to use the stems as well as the leaves, as most of you know. So we'll just do it like that. It makes for a great garnish on our sandwich. And then we're going to coarsely grate some fresh carrot. That's obviously going to give us some great color, some nice texture, and a little bit of sweetness as well. I have some red radishes that are just begging to be used up, so we're going to put those on there. Of course, fresh cucumber is an ingredient that you can't go without on a banh mi. Let's not forget the crushed peanuts. Now for our sauce for the sandwich, we're going to make a little fish sauce sriracha mayonnaise. A little mayonnaise, a squeeze of sriracha, a little bit of fish sauce, a little bit of sugar to balance out those flavors, and then a squeeze of fresh lime juice to kind of bring that all together. And give this a stir to combine. I'm starting with just regular lean ground pork. And to the ground pork, we're going to add a little bit of grated fresh ginger and a little bit of grated garlic. To that, we're going to add a little bit of brown sugar, a splash of fish sauce, a squeeze of sriracha, and we're going to use the mortar pestle to grind up a little bit of star anise. And to get that nice aromatic punch from the lemongrass, I'm using frozen lemongrass and a rasp. And the last thing that we add to the pork mixture is a splash of cold water before we work it all into a gelatinous, sticky texture. All right, so we've portioned our baguette and we're going to slice them in half. And we're ready to assemble our banh mis. And of course we have our sausage mixture ready to go. We have our skillet preheating. Using a spoon, spread a uniform layer of the pork sausage onto each cut side of the baguette. All right, so we spread our sausage mixture onto our baguette, and now we can get it onto our preheated griddle. And we're going to let this go until the sausage is cooked. It smells delicious. When it's getting close to being done, it'll look something like this. To assemble your sandwich, pile on the fresh and tasty toppings, and get ready to have your mind blown. The combination of everything on this sandwich really give you a plethora of flavors and textures. So our banh mi is finished and it looks so good, so fresh, so delicious, and I just can't wait to dig in. So vibrant and fresh and aromatic and delicious. Unreal. All those flavors together. Magical. And those serrano chilies in there, they got some heat. Thank you for watching another Late Night Stoner's Delight.